Where is the economy going? Where is inflation going? These are very common questions that we get. So guys, first off, you shouldn't be listening to these pundits at all about the economy. I don't care what history they have. They don't know what's going to happen. This is a mistake that I made in many years past. Now, does that mean there are no things that cause us to go, wait a second, what's going on here? Of course there are. There are things that are like, what the heck? Like I look at this and go, low unemployment. Most people love that. Mo, do we love that?
No.
No, why don't we love it?
Because that's an inflationary metric. We need to, like Jerome Powell said, unemployment needs to go higher.
Yeah, and it's not a very popular opinion.
It's not. Elizabeth Warren didn't like it.
And the reason she didn't like it was she said to him,
you're putting 2 million people out of a job.
Yeah, you're putting 2 million people out of a job. And I love Powell's response. He essentially said it's better than 100 million families feeling the effects of inflation. And he's right.
Absolutely.
And the reason why low unemployment is inflationary, there's a very common thing we discuss. And I know a lot of people, very smart people, don't get this until I explain it to them. Low unemployment means as a business owner, you got to pay more to get workers. Sounds awesome, right? Well, if you pay more to get workers and you provide a service or build a product, does that increase or decrease the cost of your service and product?
Increases it.
Increases it. So what do you have to do?
Charge everybody more.
Raise prices.
Yep.
Charge everybody more. That's inflation. If it costs more money now to get the banana off the tree and shipped to the US, that's inflation.
It's all a trickle effect.
It's all a trickle effect. Mm-hmm. People don't want to admit that. They hear the idea of trickle down, all these, but it doesn't. It absolutely is true. If tomorrow my costs in my business doubled, I'd have to double my price. Have to. I'm not in this. I'm not UNICEF. I'm not in this for charity. I'm in this to make a dollar for myself and employ people in a way that allows me to give people an opportunity, but it has to be incentivized for me too. I'm not going to go take risks for 1 or 2% profit or no profit. That's not the way the world works. Nobody out there watching right now would ever do that, and you shouldn't do that. And inflation is still, they want to get to 2% core inflation. Now, everybody understand that 2% is core inflation. That means excluding food and excluding energy prices. Why? Because they're very volatile. Guys, go look at Mo, can you pull up we're going to pull up the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the category breakdowns for inflation, and you'll see the volatility in food and energy. You guys see it at the pump. When you go to the pump and 1 week your gas is $3.78 a gallon, next week it's $3.27, the next week it's $4.10, that's volatility. The costs on labor don't jump up 30, 40% and drop 20% year to year. That's the big key here. Now, are we going to have a recession? I have no idea. Sure as heck looks like the government's going to print anything they need to keep us out of inflation. Because apart from our COVID inflation, which was self-induced, we have not had an inflation in how long? Sorry, a recession in how long?
Quite some time.
Quite some time. So Mo pulled this up. Oh my God, look at energy.
Yeah.
So food is up. Food is up 4.9%. Energy is down 12.5%. But look at over month, like how different it is.
Look at the fuel, the oil one, down 26.5%.
Because that drives energy prices.
And you can see the fluctuations here. They're all over the place.
It's crazy. Utility gas service down 13.7%. That's why they exclude those. They want to look at 2% core inflation. It's not overall 2%, it's core inflation 2%. Food and energy will have its own inflation, and over time, that'll probably go up 3 or 4%, whatever it is. Yep. But in terms of where we're going as a country, guys, the only concern I have is debt in a long-term position. We have $32 trillion in debt. 20 years ago, we had $3 trillion in debt, or 20-some years ago, $3 trillion. We're up 10x. And spoiler alert, the U.S. economy is not up 10x since then. That's the problem we have. You cannot have debts increasing at a faster rate than income forever. It's just not going to work. Mo pulls up the Peter G. Peterson Foundation. What is your national debt today? $32 trillion, 700 billion. That's $98,000 per person. $98,000. That includes every man, woman, and child, baby, everything. Guys, and another thing to remember is the next Fed meeting is September 19th to 20th. Guys, there's probably going to be another rate hike. The minutes came out for this month's meeting or last month's meeting, and everybody in the Fed board were saying, we're concerned about inflation still. Fed Chairman Powell has said he'd rather be more aggressive on inflation than less aggressive, which means how do you fight inflation? Raising rates. Because if it costs more money to borrow, you're less likely to expand your business, you're less likely to hire, you're less likely to buy more stuff. That slows down the economy. That's a big thing for the Fed. I want everybody to remember that we have gone through a lot of crap in this country in the last 100 years, and we come out of it better. And you look at everybody talks about China. Okay, great. Guys, we overtook Britain over 100 years ago. And guess what? Great Britain's still a wonderful, wonderful country. They still have amazing, amazing economy. They still have great. At the end of the day, though, the debt is taking away from our future. The more we borrow today is the more we have to pay in the future. And we were borrowing when rates were really, really low. Rates have skyrocketed last year. We went from literally you could borrow at 0% in 90 days and 1.5% for 10 years to now we're at 5.4% at 90 days and 4.2% on 10 years. Guys, those are real. When you have $30 trillion lent out with the average rate between around 5-6 years, which is what it is, you're looking at an increase of, call it 1.2% to 4% or so, or 3.8%. Those are big numbers. Those are hundreds of billions of dollars a year that are changing, and that has to come from somewhere. Higher taxes. I do expect that down the road at some point because we just can't borrow forever. But are we going to get a balanced budget?
No.
Mo, do you know how many years we've had a balanced budget in the last 40?
1?
I think it's 2.
2.
And the only reason it happened was because the U.S. economy grew like crazy in the late 90s because of dot-com stuff and technology. We crushed
so if it
growth
wasn't for
numbers.
that, it wouldn't have happened.
I don't think because, we did curtail, Reagan cut taxes like crazy, and that's what started the whole debt stuff 40 years ago. 40 years ago, he cut taxes like crazy, and that's all great and dandy, and I love low taxes, but it means nothing if you don't have low spending along with it.
Yeah.
So guys, I'm not going to be this doom and gloom, and it's funny, I have this, people think I'm a doom and gloom guy, and I'm not. I do believe the U.S. is the best place to be. I do think it's going to grow, and the world's pie is going to get bigger and bigger, and the U.S. is going to have a bigger piece. Their piece is going to grow, but it's not going to be a bigger percentage. That's okay. China has the most growth. Why? U.S., the average person makes $70,000 a year. In China, it's $12,000 a year. In India, it's like $2,000 a year. I don't know the exact number for India, but these guys are going to be able to grow much faster than us.
China.
It's just logical. Mo with his Donald Trump impersonation as Donald Trump sent to the jail cell. Do you see his bail was set for $200,000?
That's it. I'll pay it.
You'll pay it, big shot. Where's he going? Bail's set for $200,000. It's not like Donald Trump can just like literally get on a plane and go, okay, I'm out. He has Secret Service, right? I mean, it's like Secret Service would be like, yeah, you're not leaving. It should have just been on his own recognizance. But then people would have probably hated that saying, special treatment. But either way, I digress. The point I'm trying to make is, guys, if you like what I'm saying, subscribe to the channel. We go over these things. When things are worst, I'm going to be the optimistic note out there. When things are their best, I'm going to say, listen, it's great, but there are reasons to be cautious. Low unemployment rate cannot stay this long forever. Maybe it can. I don't know. I mean, there's situations that can make it happen. People are not having as many kids, so we do need more laborers and things like that. It's like, okay, maybe that's the case. More and more people are retiring. More and more people are getting old. It's like Japan. Japan has a supply issue with their workers. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, guys, thanks very much. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your time.